We will discuss the Stack Overflow question on how to use global variables in a function. I will head on to the first answer on this page, and that itself should summarize it well for us. So when we are talking about global variables, there are three parts to it. Part one is declaration. Part two is accessing, reading the value. And three is updating or writing to a global variable. We will discuss all the three of them one by one. Let's first discuss declaration. For declaration, the rule is simple. Anything which is defined outside the function, that is a global variable. Anything that is defined inside a function, that is not a global variable. So if I find a variable like a equal to 2, this is a global variable. And if I define something inside a function, so this is not a global. So if I do a print a over here and run this, it should print you the value 2. If I try to print b, obviously it will not print. It will throw you an error that b is not defined, right? So the declaration part is simple, as I mentioned. Now coming on to accessing the value. So if the goal is just to access the values, again, it's very straightforward. You can access it either outside a function or inside the function. If you want to access it outside the function, you can just do a print directly, as we have seen. So you don't have to do anything special. And also, if you want to access it inside a function like func2, again, you can just access it directly. Like you can do something like b equal to a plus fun, and it will just work because you're just reading the value, you're not writing and updating the value of a. Here, if I do a print b, then you will see that b is able to get the appropriate value. Right. So this is the value that we are printing from this line. Now the third part is updating the value of a global variable. This is where things get slightly tricky and you need to do something special. So first thing is updating the value outside a function. So when you want to update the value outside a function, you can again just go ahead and update the value as it is, just like that. There's no nothing special that to be done. The only time when you need to do something special is when you are trying to define it inside a function. Like if you're trying to update the value inside a function. So here inside a function, if you just do something like this, a equal to 2, this is not actually updating the global variable. Like if I do a print a here and versus print a here outside the function. So I'll also just give it some names. Outside and inside the function. Right, so you can see that outside the value is 4. It's still 4 even though you have set it. Okay, I have to also call this function. So you can see that inside the function the value is 2 and outside it is 4 because this is a local variable. It is different from what you have over here. So this is not the right way of accessing the global variable, right? So how do you do that? Like all you have to do is like you have to add a keyword here which says global a. What this means is that anywhere in the in this function that you are accessing a, you're actually accessing the global version of it. Now if I run this again, as expected, like the value changes both inside and the outside. So the key to access global variables inside a function is to just specify the global keyword. That's it.